Almost forgot the microphone, and that should be good. You should be also going through too, Rue.
Hello.
Let me also make the camera audio. There we go.
How are y'all doing?
People are still rolling in. Probably best if I set you to like a higher voice level. That should
How?
do it.
Yeah. Y'all hear everything okay? Audio sound good?
Maybe broadcast, because technically my microphone is being directly... There we go. I think I should do that more often. Now say something, Rue.
Hello.
Much better.
In the microphone.
Much better. I see some folks stopping by, saying hello. Welcome to the stream. It's been a while since we did our last one. This is the art team office hours of Resonite. I'm Aegis Wolf, and this is Rushen of the Resonite art team. You can ask questions within the chat about, well, pretty much anything that the art team is up to, about Resonite itself and its creative uses, and what you can build in here.
Mark at the end, and it'll pop up on a little board here next.
Just like Grand UK's Knoppet question here. Yeah, and the neat thing about this little chat thing, I can just drag out each individual chat if I wanted to, kind of display what question it is right here. And to ask or to answer the question, Knoppet, I guess, is recovering from the trip. That's all I could say.
Yeah, there's quite a few people still trying to work through the comic crowd.
That and getting used to not, well, for me, being cramped in a car, or being cramped in a plane and walking around a lot. I see Satan also joins the chat. Hello. And Grand UK also asks, is Frooks doing alright? They just got back from traveling. They're now back home. I think they are online and on Resonite right now.
I think a lot of people got. Or you got pretty.
Yeah. I think
you got like a little allergies.
Yeah. I think it's a double whammy because I still got a cough, but it's not as bad as allergies.
Seem to be okay for now, but I'm hoping I'm not gonna get like later.
No,
So far, so good. I mean, working back into things. And we do have some fun stuff. Some sneak peeks.
Yeah, we're gonna cover some of the stuff that we're kind of doing on the side as like something fun, and I think something that we've been wanting to get to or get some time to do, and then B, some stuff that we're gonna be looking into working on in the near future. We already kind of went over it. And let me just get a water bottle real quick. Consume. Go. Oh, it's so nice going through and organizing my desk. There we go. Well, one thing that we've been looking at doing, even like just talking about it briefly here and there during our time off and trip at BLFC, which is the convention we went to in Nevada. We've been wanting to eventually look into making more stuff for the merch store. like more designs of existing items and seeing if we can add more items to it. So we've been kind of brainstorming, thinking of ideas to do it, and Rue pretty much came up with it. Was it you that came up with that idea? The for the
Uh,
stickers or
Stickers. It was Dio, and
Theo?
then I kind of like helped him flesh it out.
Yeah. So
They mentioned like the idea of maybe Protoflux stick, but then we had like a little working session to try to figure out fun to have. So surprise, we're gonna try making Protoflux stickers.
yeah, and you seem to have a whole set right there as well.
Yeah, let me grab these over.
We'll
So
get to your question, Grand, after this.
this isn't all of them. This is just like a first batch that for the most part you have enough stuff for like state machines with booleans, um, impulses, strings, slots, floats, and
Add, subtract.
all the different basic math can be done with it. And then we got a few inputs from the community that were some particular that wanted a compose bits long node. Uh, that one is notoriously very long, not as long as I am. And they were like, well, I was trying to figure out how I'd even on. So I made a version of it that's just infinitely extendable. So if you want like a 3 foot long sticker, you just make. Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay, I realize why you were a bit quiet. It's because my voice volume in game is a little bit lower.
Do I need to repeat any of that?
You going through good?
Uh, can y'all hear me? Do I sound okay?
Also, welcome to the stream, likable artist and Snappy Durg. I haven't welcomed you earlier yet. Sweet.
Okay, cool.
You might need repeating.
So
Snappy Durg.
these are a few of the stickers that we want to make. You have pretty much like the full set of Boolean stuff if you want. There's simple math nodes enough to subtraction. Then you have strings as well in case you want to like use the protoflux nodes as like for objects. There's also I thought it'd be really funny if I took like the button events, put it next to my light switch, and then did like.
Also, make sure your noise gate is lowered a bit.
Oh, is it?
A little bit.
There we go. That should be good. Oh yeah, and we have some funny ones. Like we have the Bublio 7. Ooh. There were some users that wanted a particular node with compose bits long. Very notoriously long node.
Like
so I split it up.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. You can just like order a whole sheet of that sticker, just make it as long as you want. The like set that includes the node itself, if you buy the one, if we set it up that way, would be like 1.5 feet long by itself. And I don't even think that's like the full node. If you get like the extension pack that I have, that would be like 3 foot long.
Also, welcome to the stream, Backlar. One thing about stickers as well, and the site we're using, found out that you can have like holographic stickers, like with the rainbow shine on them. I think it would be pretty neat if we like picked some of the more like niche or obscure popular nodes and make them also a variant with shininess on them would be pretty interesting, as well as a shiny. Yes, a shiny gloopy Grand UK. That's definitely one thing I want. That way it's extra rainbowy. Actually, be pretty neat to have like some of the tools as like different stickers as well, like a thumbnail render of them. Yeah. One of the other things that was quite easy to set up that I also found out inside the selfie is like a simple, like a pillow, for example. So I took the ones that are in the cloud home and tutorial world and adjusted the templates and the designs to work. These are like the generated previews that they did. And I think it'll be something really easy for us to add to the merch store. That you can literally have a replica of the pillow that's in the cloud home in your real home. And I want one too. Satan has a suggestions about turning them into fridge magnets. I think there are magnets within the selfie store. We'll have to take a look on that one. But it is something good that we can take a look at. I'll pop this out and set it aside for later. Now we do have
Go ahead and check real quick.
Ah, alright. You gonna open it up and check it out? Well, while you do that, I am going to catch up on some questions that have popped up. Grandy K has had a question here. I'm gonna bring it up here on the corner. Once there is official mesh editing in-game and you can sculpt, what do you think is the first thing you'll sculpt is? That is a good question. Depends on, like, what kind of, like... There's a lot of things you can sculpt. And mesh editing is not only dealing with sculpting, but also, like, individually manipulating vertices, kind of like in Blender, or extruding, or whatnot. Maybe even a resculpt of my avatar might be one thing I might do. Eventually, we'll have the tools to even make an avatar completely from the ground up in Resonite with this kind of fidelity. Like weight painting, blend shapes, texturing. It'd be really nice to have like some sort of node-based texturing system in here where you can have like different maskings of things like edge wear or like ambient occlusion, lots of different things. Being able to paint directly on the model itself would be incredible. And would lessen the amount of stuff I have to pay Adobe for. uh, Although, like in Blender, you could also use mesh editing or sculpting to adjust your model for shape keys or blend shapes as well too. So creating new blend shapes in here would be really nice. Say for example, if you have a model that doesn't have face tracking, you can just do that. That would be pretty neat. Just mark these. Now, Gran UK has another question here that also pertains to a shiny gloopy, but in this case inside Resonite. Can we get a random chance that a gloopy during loading a world can be shiny? Noted. I know Ryavi has been messing around with updating the loading indicators for not only the mesh but also worlds as well. Messing around with particles as of last time I remember. Just a few other things kind of came up and got busy, so be something I can poke them about. I have another question here from Satan instead. What about flux nodes? Oh, yeah, the fridge magnets one. Yeah,
I did just check, and we cannot do magnets, but we could other.
you're still cutting out.
Am I?
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, whoops. Alright, Gran UK asks, let me set this on the other side here. I think I saw Project Obsidian, which is a Resonite plugin, recently added a custom tool and things for editing meshes. Maybe you could have a mess around with it and see what you like and don't like about it. That'll be something I'd like to try out. It's a plugin and not a mod, right? That's my question for you.
Does this sound a bit better?
Say again?
Does this sound better?
You sound quiet. Okay, so it's a plugin and not a mod. Alright. Oh, I'll have to definitely check it out sometime. Because I have never heard of it before. And that's, yeah, I'll set it aside for later. Also, welcome Z the Cheetah to the stream. And, Satan. um, yeah, apparently some people say that, my voice is like, I guess ASMR-esque or storytelling-esque. And to answer the cheetah's idea, or the question, words.
Okay, should be good now. I recently updated to Windows 11, so I think it messed with my microphone a little bit.
Ah, that makes sense. And also to answer Cheetah's question, that is Ru Shen, also of the Resonite art team, as so am I.
Hello.
That plugin that GranUK talked about, it adds a lot of custom flux and components and is one of the biggest custom plugins in Resonite right now. I'm definitely interested in checking it out. I'll poke Ryuvi and others on the art team about it too, to take a look at it.
Yes, I'm usually around. I show up on the business office hours, or sorry, not the business office hours, the content team office hours, at least when I can. I don't think I've missed a lot of them. I think I've been on like almost all of them so far, at least in the recent past. And then I'm usually also on the
Recap streams.
yeah, the recap streams. Um, yeah, we all kind of work together, me, Aegis, and RUV on a lot of the official content. So yeah.
Almost forgot I had Twitch open on web browser. Thankfully, it wasn't playing the audio twice. Aha. Seems you probably ran into them on World somewhere.
Ah. Well, I don't know about today because I have been in a private world working on stickers today, which y'all may have seen me around. I try to be around more. Just been working a lot. But it's always good meeting new people. So
Yeah.
I think these stickers are going to be fun. I cannot wait to get like a pack of the Protoflux wires stickers and just like put them all over the place. I
I
was also
must
thinking like
hydrate.
if people wanted, they could just get like the Boolean ones and could actually use them to like teach people state machines and logic gates and stuff. Ah, yes, Rin. I've met Rin before. Ah, a lot of the times, we are usually not using, say, like a plugin or a mod because we're working on a lot of official content stuff. I want to make sure things are working, at least at a base level first. Um, but yeah, we can definitely maybe check some of those out.
These plugins are a little bit different than when it comes to mods. This is kind of like a more easier way of implementing things, at least locally, for your own experiments. That's what a lot of
Mm-hmm.
companies also use too. That would use Resonite for. Say if they have like their own hardware they want to integrate or software, they could potentially use that kind of method to create things. Last time I've messed around with one was a texture generator plugin that someone made that creates fractals. I think like it wasn't a Sierpinski fractal, it was like the Mandelbrot
Oh, I think
fractal.
you went into first-person view.
Uh oh. Oh, I see what happened here. Mirror to display.
Mirror to display.
I guess somehow my thing must have clicked. I can breathe now. Ah, still gotta. Oh, we got a couple of questions here.
Mm-hmm. As for so Phoenix Bird Creature asks, so is the Flux UI pretty final then? I wouldn't say it's completely final. It's definitely like in a good state, and we don't have any plans to change it right now. Um, but it could always change in the future.
Raivi has went through like I think through one of the months I think last year to kind of like see what it would look like if it was properly designed. Because right now this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like dev visuals right now where it just pretty much works for now, and it's pretty neat how they went through and kind of made some concepts of it. But we do want to eventually go through and rework how it looks. It'll still be pretty cool to have both like the existing Protofluxes stickers and the new ones as well whenever they're
Mm-hmm.
there. Now here's a question for you from Satan.
Dayton asks, how long is Rue's tail? It seems not even the floor can
Contain it.
contain it. It's about 8 feet long, I believe. It's roughly like almost as long as I am tall. If I like fly up, see how long it is.
Yeah.
I used to have a thing that like made it so that it would lay on the ground whenever I walked around, but I didn't want it to lag people out, so I removed it. Snappy Durg asks, and I'm going to summarize this a little bit. Um, any thoughts on a super optimized cloud home alternative for new users?
So, that is a good idea. Is one thing I also was thinking about too when reading that is we don't necessarily have a way to kind of like select a default cloud home for people right away. I think it would be pretty neat to have like a functionality where you can like choose what kind of cloud home you go into.
Well, I think specifically they're asking about this for people who want to launch the game on like systems that may not be as powerful as say a main computer. And while the cloud home is I think as optimized as we can make it at the moment, it is still something that needs like a beefy computer to run. But if you do want to still play Resonite and not load that home in case it is too heavy, there's actually launch arguments that you can set up so that it won't launch your cloud home. So if you wanted to say open up Resonite on a Steam Deck, you would just throw that as a launch option for the game and not have to worry about the cloud home.
You can
If
also
it's
set any world within Resonite that's published or your own as a cloud home as well too.
Mhm.
And let me check in the Resonite wiki real quick.
And in reference to the like new users logging in, each new user, when they're presented with that login screen, is going to be in their local home, which is literally just a flat grid and like a few textures. It can't get much more simple than that. But yeah,
Joining sessions, opening worlds. Oh yeah, I gotta open
what
up.
definitely would be good is providing those launch arguments in a like easier to find way.
Capture region. There we go. Share X for the win. I can just take a little screenshot of just the command, which is this.
Do not auto load home. That's also there's also ways you can set it up so that it doesn't show like the tutorial and a few other options. Like those are really nice if you are wanting to launch Resonite really quickly, if you're doing like testing and whatnot, or if you're launching on different types of platforms. So, yeah, recommend taking a look at those.
Oh
I
yeah,
sometimes use the skip intro tutorial whenever I do like say a full refresh and then need to, relog into things that I don't want to have to go through the first initial steps on it.
as Granny K put in there in the chat as well.
And you can find these commands on the wiki. Just go ahead and search up launch arguments, I believe it's called, and it'll just give you like a list of them, what they do, where to put them. Kind of just shows you the whole deal there.
There we go.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the link. Yep.
Yep.
So you can find everything about him. And the Cloud Home definitely has been like updated to be less heavy with our update with the splitting. Now there's still more things to come in regards of optimizations to the platform itself. Things such as like a updated physics engine, just like the version of it. I know Fruix has been working on that since before a lot of us went on a trip, as well as things like a new garbage collector called Satori, I think it was called. That would also improve load times, and eventually looking into a new graphical rendering engine, which will allow for things like implementing optimizations like foveated rendering. If like you have an eye tracking headset, would be pretty neat down the line, but a more immediate thing that would be incredibly useful for both desktop and VR users is, what was it? Not backface culling, but like occlusion culling. There we go. Where it won't show what's behind an opaque object. Like if you look at a wall, you don't see the stuff behind the wall. Therefore, you're not loading it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless if it's like sound effects or something like that. But yeah. Right now, Resonite uses what is called frustum culling, which the frustum is the field of view of a camera, which is that like angled funnel that is coming from the view. And technically, you have two of them in your VR.
Staten also asks, is there a... Oh, actually, here we go. Is there a way to make Bezier curve... Oh, you got it. Paths for the camera to follow? Yes. It would be something that you make with protoflux. So you would set up like a slot that can move from point to point with that function. There have been a few examples that people have made over the years for that kind of thing. I think even Ryuvi has a simple one that will just go to the next slot that is duplicated. That way you can just kind of like grab and delete them to make paths. Um, but it's definitely possible.
It'll be easier when we have more features that deal with creating like Bezier curves using like proper math and like a pathing system directly built in, but right now you can use like the math nodes within Resonite to create the same kind of math you would have in a Bezier curve. Now it also include things like meshes or things like curves regards of lifetime events of like a particle that gets like emitted. It'll be also really good for when we have like an animation system overhaul in here where you can change the animation curves.
Yep.
I think that also would require things like collections, because it's a collection of points on a line. Be good to use for graphing things too.
There are a few protoflux nodes that deal with those type of things that would be really nice. That yeah, would be really nice to use in those functions. But yeah. And no, I do not have a public folder for that. But when I can find a thing, I will see if I can put it somewhere that's accessible. Or you could ask Ryuvi if you see them flying around.
We have a question from Nuki-kun. Cloud Home feels like the end of the tutorial. You know, USFN did a thing where we had some Cloud Homes, and they have a thing at spawn that tells you how to save them and set them up. Have you ever thought of having the tutorial end with a choose your homeworld thing? Now, I answered a question earlier about like having uh, a lighter Cloud Home as an option for people, and having a way to kind of easily select like a thing of presets or your own world if you have one already selected too. Like when you first start up Resonite, would be a good idea to have. But that also would need to be created as like either a feature or included within the overhaul of the tutorial world and Cloud Home, which is definitely something that we want to do in due time.
Yep. I mean, we worked pretty hard to make the existing one as light as possible while still having a ton of like neat features. It's a balance that we have to play. There's a lot of users that want us to just make it a grid space, and then there's a lot of users that want us to put as many cool features in there as possible. And we're trying to like kind of hit the middle of those two kind of like camps. And I think where it is right now is in a somewhat decent state. There's a few things in it that we need to fix for performance. Like the Dawn Skybox has an interesting effect in it that we're still trying to figure out what might be causing some issues. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a matter of like getting through and updating what we have right now, and also planning out and starting to design a newer tutorial. Which previously we kind of were just going through and updating and optimizing our existing one due to the time limitations.
also likable artist. Stuff like that is difficult. Um, Actually, if you want to pull the card out, uh, they say, "Do you think in the future there'll be an Avatar Basics folder that provide popular tools or pre-made systems for avatars?" Um, right now, it wouldn't be too hard to make, but in the long term, that would be hard to manage because each of those items would need to be like vetted if we have them in the essentials folder. People kind of like inherently trust what's in the essentials folder, um, and we want to make sure that like things in there are set up in a proper way. And that often means that if we put something in there, we have to open it up, take a look at it, see exactly how it functions, and make sure it's not doing anything that it shouldn't. Um, like you would with code, check it and make sure it's good. And that kind of gets crazy and out of hand once there's a lot of users submitting tons and tons of objects.
This will be easier once we have a workshop system within Resonite.
Yep.
Similar to like a Steam workshop where you can post your own creations on like a game, like mods or something like that of game. You post content, say for example an avatar, a tool, or an object, or even well, we already got it for worlds. It's just the same kind of thing, but for that. And say you can search different categories or specific artists or creators that make it, and it'll also pave way to a marketplace as well too. Just the functionality is just going to be mainly the workspace or workshop, which will pretty much make it easier for people to search anything. It'll kind of coincide with a rework of the inventory menu as well too.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something we want to do, as well as with the update to the tutorial, have users choose what they want to learn about. They want to learn about avatars, they can learn about the entire things that they need to build an avatar from the ground up. Or they'll be able to search a whole bunch of different avatars within, say, the workshop once it's there. It'll be its own category at that point.
Yep.
I'll mark some of these here. Nuki also asks, what all is the art team working on lately? Not really too much, as some
We
of
went
us
over a
are.
lot of that in the beginning of the stream as well, like with
Yeah,
the stickers and the merchandise stuff.
yeah, pretty much over our break last week. Kind of went and just thought about some things we could add to the merch store as like a fun idea. Just write them down for later, and then this week Rue went through, and thanks to an idea that another team member, Theo, brought up, is having stickers on our store of the Protoflux nodes, which there's a atlas here that Rue made in GIMP of a whole bunch of different Protoflux nodes and parts of Protoflux nodes
Mm-hmm.
as well as this right here too, which is a simple thing that I thought of too. Is there's the pillows that are in the Cloud Home, and I figured it would be nice to add that as a thing that people can have in real life as well. And you can see the front and back of the pillow right here. They only have square or rectangular ones. Be pretty neat if they had circular ones, but yeah. And in general, like long term, more larger projects, one of them is going to be the Apollo Reconstructed project that we're going to be working on next. And that one, we got a lot of it done, but a lot of it is also on Fuchs's end, where essentially the project is Fuchs took pictures that are on public domain of NASA's repository of photos and images that astronauts took either on the moon, around the moon, or of the different equipment they use, and he takes it and runs it through photogrammetry software to create both 3D models of photogrammetry and Gaussian splats of it, and we're going to be creating a moon base kind of like near future sci-fi museum of the Apollo project or Apollo like missions that NASA did. That's one of the projects that Frook's been wanting to do for probably over like 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be exciting.
Satan also asks, some days ago I saw that there was a portal to a physical convention connected to inside of Resonite. Do you know
Yes.
how to do that? And I would love to do that someday. Yes.
It's pretty simple in theory. It's just depending on like what kind of hardware you want it to be on. All you need is some kind of like OBS to stream to a RTSP server, or if you want to stream it to like a public streaming service like Twitch or YouTube, you can do that. And then you need some sort of projector or screen to showcase an in-world view of the world you're streaming it to. So we
In the
essentially had,
case of oh, go ahead, sorry.
and the setup that we had was two laptops. One was running OBS and was basically streaming the the in real life view of the webcam of the laptop to the stream, and the other one was another account that was on Resonite, copying the view onto a projector.
We're also doing that for audio. That way it didn't have like weird loopback kind of audio interference and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, you basically have the stream sitting in world with the two users nearby. Um, and then people can just look at the stream.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the convention we placed like I think the person that was the actual like listener directly behind the stream screen. That way it's a little easier to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are generally pretty easy to set up. Eventually, I think I want to try to set up like a more complex one that works a little bit better, like a really big projector, maybe like a wall.
Yeah. We'll definitely have more time next time to think about what we can do. And you could do this all on one system too. It's just it kind of eased the load to two of them. What's this?
Mm-hmm. That's the next one.
Ooh.
You just didn't put a question mark on it, but I wanted to answer it.
Yeah. So Satan says physical dev tool with an actual laser attached to the tip would be cool, combined with some mist or smoke. You'd see the laser trajectory. Now, engineering that would be interesting because you got glass
Floaty
in the
bits.
middle.
Yep.
The floaty bits, I already had an idea for if you would be able to create it. It's basically use either transparent acrylic or small wires fitted to a ball
Mm-hmm.
bearing to make it spin.
As
A
for
laser.
the construction of it itself, I actually have been setting up the tool handle in a 3D resin like printing setup. Um, and I've been doing a bunch of test prints to try to get it to work. But I think my printer might be like too small. I might have to get a bigger printer or
You could
like
also-
do it in sections. But
I was about to say you could do it in sections.
yeah,
Also, I know
But
you
I
were
think-
trying to figure out how to get like the trigger part of it done. What I could do is make some modifications to the model where it has like an actual inset in there. And what you could do is either make a spring or put a metal spring on it inside, so it can actually pop in and out.
mm-hmm.
I wonder. I mean, you could probably put a button cell battery on the inside of the top of that, and then have like a little laser diode. That would be interesting. Also quite difficult.
I have a bunch of neodymium magnets, and I was just gonna like print the tip separate with like a magnet attachment for it that we kind of like pull it off and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to definitely try to make one of them IRL, and if I do, I could potentially like do stuff with them. But uh, production of them would be incredibly slow since they would be made like one at a time by hand.
Have a good one, Nuki. Good luck with your event. Ah. Satan also has another question about the physical portal that happened. How much latency was there in that instance of the convention? Was it all streaming directly from the computer to the other users, or did you use a streaming service? I think Twitch has a lot of latency. I don't know about YouTube. It was a RTSP stream that was streamed to a like a video player directly in here.
Yep, and it was about like a 20-second delay. But there's a lot of factors in that, both streaming service, the connection of the internet, um, and at the time we were using just like the convention hotel Wi-Fi, so it's not the fastest thing in the world.
But it
But
was
if you had a dedicated setup with fiber, it'd be fine.
yeah, it was good to see that it actually like worked properly though too. So I'm thankful for
Mm-hmm.
that. the yeah, we saw a lot of folks both physically there and virtually in the stream. It was really nice. So I think I do have an image of it somewhere. There we go. This is pretty much the whole meetup that happened at the convention, where we have both the virtual world in the back there and the real world here.
Even though I'm not in the picture, I was there.
And yes, the green dragon is an excellent. So many
Okay.
interesting things happened that day.
Yeah, that
Or
was a
days.
fun convention. The next time we go to one of those, it will be nice to see y'all if you join us.
Yeah.
At that particular one, we actually had like a little Resonite panel. We answered a few questions. Basically, like went around and got to say hi to everyone who came to the physical space. And then we spent a little bit of time on the portal. That way, people could communicate back and forth within Resonite and in IRL.
Yeah. There's like a table pretty much just in front of the stage where that screen is with the two laptops, so people can come up and say hello to the folks in the virtual world from the physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the other things that people have asked about too in regards to projects, one of them was the Universe project. It's something we want to take a look at some point too, to update and
Mm-hmm.
restore. That probably won't
We
take
have
as much time compared to the Apollo project.
we have spent a little bit of time already, kind of like refreshing it, updating it in a few places. So it is, yeah, it probably wouldn't take too long, but you just haven't had a lot of time.
I know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the black hole model that I made in the uh, Resmonic world and use that as a visual for the black holes that we know in the universe for like the scale, because we have none of them in the Universe project. I think we should, and I modeled it myself, so it'd be a good addition. Because technically, with that world, you can add anything within like a box kind of device and set the scale of like the diameter of the box, and it will set whatever you put in the box to whatever proper scale you put. Say if you put, like, I don't know, the Death Star in there, and you type in its actual, like, diameter, and then you scale yourself through the experience to, like, the size of a small moon, you can now see that it's no moon next to the other actual moons of the solar system. Satan asks, do you speak other languages? Uh,
I speak a little bit of Spanish, but like not not good enough for a conversation. I can understand it better than I can like speak it. So
Same here. I understand a few different languages, a bit of German, Japanese, Ukrainian, but and a little bit of Polish as well too. Been wanting to learn a bit more Ukrainian and Japanese, especially with the large Japanese community within Resonite.
mm-hmm. Hello. Yeah. If y'all ever have any other questions, just like throw them into the chat with a question mark. It'll pop up here, and then we can answer them. Could be anything. Um, actually, yeah, we only have like what 20 minutes left.
Take a look here.
More like 15, actually. I think.
We got about 8 minutes to an hour on the dot.
What?
Eight
Is your clock
minutes.
wrong? Is it 6:44 for you?
Well, we
Is
kind
my
of
clock wrong?
started a little bit earlier because of like the startup of the thing. Oh,
Ah, okay.
okay. You're looking at the actual time. I'm looking at the stream time. I see.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, we got time. Ah, that is a good question, Satan. The world that we are in, what is it? It is a really old workshop world that I used to like build projects. It's not really too much to it. I could go into first person and kind of just look around. It used to have a different skybox, but I decided to put on the Resonite one. It's supposed to have like multiple floating islands and stuff in an old art style that I did a while ago. There isn't really too much other than these, I guess, teleporter pads and the center circle here, which is also spawn. Now let me go to anchors. There we go.
Yep.
I need to learn more, Alex. Apparently, it is not that far off of Czech as well. I do kind of want to learn both of them. Will be probably a bit interesting and a little confusing learning like two different languages like that where they're very similar but they have like different rules sometimes. It's just everybody borrows words and vowels and ideas from each language. Especially English, we stole they stole a lot. Latin and Germanic ones go into English, but then again, you see French ones here and there.
I'll tell you what. I have a question for chat. Um, would any of y'all want a jigsaw puzzle that was like Resonite themed? I'm not sure how many people really do jigsaw puzzles anymore. Um, Back in the day, I used to do a ton of them with my family. I liked them. I was like, oh, we can make like Resonite themed ones. Do like giant gloopy jigsaw puzzle, or even take like the Protoflux from like either the tool or whatnot and turn the whole like Protoflux panel into jigsaw puzzle, which would be funny.
Oh my. Actually, that'll be an interesting thing. You have like a neat looking background or backdrop, and then like nice organized flux, and then you just piece
Mm-hmm.
together the puzzle. And that'll be kind of confusing too because you got wires going from one way to another, and it's like, does this wire go to this one or that one? That'll be interesting.
Yep. Like, could you imagine doing like a jigsaw puzzle from the vehicle like physics Protoflux wall?
The projectile system, or
Or like the
or
dev tool.
yeah, the dev tool animations, or even the multi tool. Well, that works.
Oh, and the when we were doing a recap stream, I think it was the last one we did. Someone had asked about posters, and from what it looks like, we can do posters, like paper posters. They have like a framed one and a non-framed one. Although I don't think they're like really big. I think they're only like 10 by 14 at the max.
If I
But
recall, I
yeah.
did see one on the store that was like, where it's. Let me kind of crudely draw it real quick here. Where it's like, has those two kind of wooden dowels.
Oh yeah.
This is like kind of an exaggerated one, where it's like two wooden dowels and then like a little string attached to a screw or nail on the wall.
This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's another one too. Yeah. I think it would be pretty neat actually going through and making some designs, not just rather screenshots or stuff, like rather actually authored artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Almost kind of like going through making some concept art or kind of fleshing out some of the concept art that we had in the past. Be really
Oh,
cool to have.
that was another thing we wanted to try to do was take like a lot of the concept art for some of the things that we've made. Like Aegis has a bunch of sketches that you may have seen in the Cloud Home.
Same with
Take
Ryuvi's.
hmm and Fruits is like sketch is for systems and things. We could take all those and make them into like little art packs and just have them up there as a like a pay what you want type of thing. So if people just want to grab them, they can, and if they want to like donate to Resonite, they can do that and get some like nice art stuff out of it. The like full resolution type deal pictures for those sketches and concept arts.
I do a lot of my concept art either by physically in here drawing it, like I just did, or by sketching out physically in a real world on a notebook using colored pencil. And
Should have
so
brought those to get scanned.
it's like however many pages. I already have a scanner at home too, so I did get
Yeah,
some
that's
tips
good.
from Gareth on how to scan things better too.
Yeah,
But the scans that I
that'll
did
be neat.
prior are quite good that are within um, the cloud home. So yeah.
We're still setting a lot of those things up. We just want a bunch of like little fun things for people to grab and run around with. I definitely saw the value in those things whenever I was like running around at the convention or talking to people IRL. Um, People really liked a lot of the little funny Resonite stickers that we had. We actually ran out of the ribbons that we had made.
Need more.
Yep.
We'll just make like, I don't know, 3,000 of them. We can have them for multiple years or multiple events. That'll be good. Also, be good to have business cards as well at some point too. And make some pretty neat looking ones. Okay, that's an interesting question from Pixelnator. So if you hit the resonance frequency just right, can you make the crystals, the resonite default assets are made out of explode
Explode.
a la Mist
A la
4?
Mist.
Um, maybe.
Just April Fool's Day explosion. All of the like crystal materials.
Or they just start levitating like the rock ship, if you know that one.
They always reminded me of the vehicles that they would drive in Atlantis, uh, like the Disney one. There's like stone vehicles. They put a little crystal in there and they just start glowing blue.
The yeah, a lot of the art styles within Resonite are actually inspired off of Mist, with these circular like design patterns and the kind of more natural, rustic a bit look of the structures, the technology, kind of magitech look. Another kind of inspiration was a bit of Eberron from D&D, where it's like magitech, using like crystals and stuff for like average, like everyday, like home appliances even used that kind of tech in the lore. And yes, there is a literal linking book in the Cloud Home, which is also in the Essentials, I think, still. No, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. People have made working linking books before where it just takes you to a specific world. Because you can make stuff that transports users to a world using protoflux. People have made things like Stargates or like the portal device from Rick and Morty or a linking book or
Yep.
some kind of hyperspace jump from one planet to another from like Star Trek or Slipspace from Halo or TARDIS. If you find any yellow pages though, I might need them. Or he has trapped himself in a book. Find the yellow pages. Wait a minute, is that like an actual thing though? I could have sworn yellow pages is an actual thing. Like probably contact information book or something.
Yep. We have, I don't know, maybe like what, 4 minutes left? If people still have questions or
Any
whatnot.
last minute questions are welcome. Other than, well, the projects that we're gonna start looking into pretty much this week is kind of a week for us to kind of ease into things, not go feet first into things, just kind of, you know, take a stroll into seeing what needs to be done at a nice pace. Satan has a quick question. Meow. I answer woof. What about you? Rue?
Rourke.
There's your answer.
If I was wondering how to spell that one, let me this is the sound that me and wolves make. They do little rourks. And that little like high pitched whines as well, which are funny.
Well, this concludes a good office hours.
Yeah.
Lots of folks tuned in, asked questions. Oh, a few important things before we go. One is starting this week. This is for next week's stream. We're gonna start putting in, just like the other office hours that we do on the Resonite team. We go into the Discord and create a forum post that has all the different questions that people can ask for those who aren't able to see the stream right away, or for those who want to just put in a question right there right away. And we go through the questions of that forum post first, and then go through the questions of the Twitch chat within the next stream onward. So that's one thing we want to start doing too. And as well as on the topic of office hour streams, I can take now the calendar, conveniently loading. You can see all the different office hours that are ongoing or will be going, the times that it happens, where it happens, for example, the Twitch. And you can also see this information on our Discord as well too. For example, every Wednesday we do an art team office hours starting at the time this stream started, about 6 p.m. CST. Every Tuesday, Prime does their prime time office hours around the same time, but on Discord. They do it in a form where it's just kind of audio, and you can answer or ask questions in a forum post there each time. Every Sunday, the moderation office hours happens either with Veer or Git or both of them, as well as a bit after, like an hour or two after, Brooks does their Resonance podcasts every Sunday, which is also kind of their own office hours as well. And you'll see Fruix and Cyro there if you want to ask them questions as well too. If I recall, to see if any of the other Resonite office hours are on here. So I do know a couple other folks do office hours as well. I know J4 does their purple hour, it's called, for their office hours every other week. Now keep on the lookout on our calendars for when that happens too. They do a lot of the behind the scenes kind of code organization and optimization for the engineering team. We have a last second question from Alex Tupai. Will you add the option to join the world directly to from this panel?
That's something we wanted to do.
Suggestion.
And I think in the future, once we kind of like revamp the event system and make it a little bit more fleshed out, we can add that. But there would also need to be a few other like changes in the back end for the way sessions work and worlds and stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to do it, it's just we couldn't get it in due to the limitations currently. But I believe if it isn't
and the time frame.
Yeah, if it isn't already a GitHub issue for recommending that as a feature, I suggest creating one, so that way when we do get the time of working on it, we can have it written down somewhere that, hey, this is what people want for the events page. This is going to be its own thing. Right now, it was a collaboration between us and a few community members to create that panel. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, see you folks next week. Definitely tune in to the other office hours. Ask questions there or in our Discord.
And thank you for stopping by
Yeah.
and asking questions. It was good having you.
Everybody
have a good week. Bye-bye. Whee.